Hello and welcome to the Artisan of Glimmith. I'm Tom, and in this video I'm going to solve the puzzles in the shape bank section here. This marketplace actually. There's the final market puzzle actually. But in order to unlock the first puzzles we need to read this letter here. Esteemed Artisan, I apologize for the preponderance of constraints I've laid upon your work. Many further rules are yet to come. This area is optional. You may proceed as soon as 4 windows are complete. I commend your diligence and persistence. Yours truly, Elias Vidimus. So, actually it goes on there once I solve this puzzle. But let's go on here with the first puzzle, which is here, number 1. There's only one difficulty 1 puzzle here with a shape bank. All of these are shape bank puzzles. We can start here. That's pretty obvious. Then here, the entire puzzle is pretty obvious. Like the shapes can only be filled in one way, so I'm not going to explain too much. Like this. So let's move on to the number 2 puzzles. No, let's start here. There's the first one. Shape bank. All regions must be 3 by 4 wide. So here this border tells us we can't have anything with 3 like here, because we would lose this tile, right? So that means we need 4 here. And since we can't reach all the way to the top, we can reach maximum here, 3 by 4. We need a separate box here, right? Like this. And this one has to extend here. Now here we have 4, so that has to be done like this. And again we have 4 like this. Here we have 6. So I can't fill in 4 like that, because I would have 2 that I can't fill, sort of. So we need again 6 and another 6 here, which means here again we need these shapes, and then we are left with these shapes up here. Okay, pretty simple. Another puzzle 2 with 2 difficulty. All regions must be in this strange T-shape or whatever you call that. Let's start with the obvious things that we have to do. Now if we look at this one here, we can't form this by moving up. We would have to move into this section here now, up there into this section. It doesn't work. That means this one has to combine with this one, and then we need an extra tile there to form this shape. And now we can look at this one. Oh, I forgot to fill this in here, because I can only move up here and down there like this. Here we have to do like this then. Here we can only move like this in order not to cut anything off. And then here we need this shape that finalizes the puzzle. So another 2 is where? There is a 2. Shape bank. This strange shape. We can start here, like we have this, which means that this tile has to act like it could extend like this, but we would be left with one tile here, so that's not possible. It has to be done like this, right? No, wait, actually it doesn't work. It has to be done like this, right? Yeah, so here we have to move out, and that can only be this part of the shape. And since we have the straight border on this side, we have to leave the opening here. Again, we have to move out along the straight lines. The opening is here now. Here we have this again, which means we can only complete this like that. And since we have 2 straight sides here, we can only fill this in like this. Again with a straight side at the top. Oops, not this one. We need this like that. Here we have the 2 legs, sort of. And this thing here. And then we move along the straight sides and complete this puzzle like that. There are 2 puzzles here. All regions must be this shape. Now we can start by looking at this here. Can this be the bottom or the top part of this shape? No, it can't be, because we can't reach this tile here anymore. So this has to be done like this, and obviously we can't complete it like this. We can't complete it there. It has to be completed like this here. Okay. So now, can we do this here? No, we can't again, because we create an L shape. So we need the square part here. We can't complete it here. We can't complete it there. We could complete it here or there. But here the L shape doesn't work, so we need this. This then has to be something like that. No, wait. Did I make a mistake? I obviously made a mistake. What did I do wrong? This one can't be. This is already wrong here. Where did I make the mistake? I don't even know. This cannot be done in a different way. Ah, wait, I can do this. That's how it has to be, obviously. So I'm sorry for this. This is the completion of the puzzle. So here, all regions must be this shape. At the bottom, we need 2. Because if we were to move up here, we would cut this off. Same is true the other way around. So we need 2 here, and we can't move up like this because we would cut off this thing here. So we have to do it like this. Now this can only be completed like this. And this section must be formed like this. And the remainder is here then. Okay. 3. This is a 2. Shape bank. While it's obvious to start here, that doesn't really lead you anywhere. It's better to start here. Because here you can't do that. Can't use this shape. Because you're cutting this section off. So this has to be an L. And this also has to be an L. Here we can only have this shape now. Which in turn means here we can't move up there. Or actually we can move up there. We have to move up there. Because like this, get it right. Okay. There's another 2 here. All regions must be one of these shapes. Okay, so here we can start with the obvious starting clues again like this. You can see this here, or like this tile, I can only reach with the plus sign, and the same is true here. Yeah? Which means I need a square here. This one also has to be a square. This one has to be a plus sign again, which means here I need 3 in a row. Here I also need 3 in a row. Here I also need 3 in a row. And here 3, and this is a square then. So we've got 8 puzzles. That's 7 difficulty 2 puzzles. So let's move on to difficulty 3 on the white plinths. I think there's one here, yes. All regions must be this shape. Start here, which means we can't extend these 3 down here. We have to extend them there. And we have to move up or down. But if we were to move up, I would create something like this that I can't. I don't have this shape at the end anywhere, right? So that doesn't work. We need to do this. And now we have this here. Can I move there? Potentially yes. But I wouldn't be able to get out of this thing here. Like I could go there, but like it's not possible. So I have to move down here like this. And then this fits perfectly. Now I can also do this here. This can only be filled in like this. And let's look at this one now here. I can only go here, so I have to move there and take these in order to take the shape here. Here we have the same thing like this. And as you can see at the bottom, we have exactly the mirrored shape. Okay, how many difficulty 3 puzzles? We have 6. That was the first one. There is another one here. All regions must be in a corner shape. On larger puzzles, guessing can get you into trouble. Only color shapes that you know for sure. That's what I always try to do, but sometimes you make mistakes. This one can only be done like this. This is the only possibility. This corner tile here can't be done like this. Can't be done like this. Has to be done like this. We have another corner like this. Here also a corner. There's a corner. Here this has to be a corner piece. This one has to be a corner piece. And here we have the same thing. We can't do that. We also can't do that. So it has to be done like this. Okay? We need the corner inside here. We need another corner here and here and here. This is actually more work. Like this. And here we have to move out. Can I move there? That would need a corner tile there and leave me with 3 straight ones here. That doesn't work. We have to move there, which needs corner here. And that's that. There's the next difficulty 3. Shape bank with 3 straight tiles. So let's start here, here, and now this one can't extend here, it has to go there, which means here we need 3 sections. One here, one there. I'm just gonna do these, not talk so much because it's pretty obvious. It's always sections where you can't extend into, you can only extend into one direction, right? And here, because of this tile, you have to do it like this. 3. Oh wait, not here, from here. 3 and 3. 3, 3. Again, this center tile here can only be reached like this. 3. What else? 3, 3. Oops. 3, 3, 3. That's it. This one is another 3. Shape bank. 2 strange shapes, sort of. Strange, well, 1 straight shape. So here I can't have 5, right? So this has to be the first shape. Here I need 5 now. And here I can't have 5 again. I need this shape again. Here I have to move out there, but it could be both, right? It could be, no, it can't be a 5 actually, because we would cut this off here. So this can only be shaped like this. Which means this here has to be shaped like this. Here we need a shape like this. So this is a 5. This is also a 5. And here we need to move out. Can't make a 5 out of this. So we have 2 times the same shape. Now here we obviously need this. And here that. The first law of puzzling. Whenever you find a pair of cells that must be connected, join them together. And the tile they're talking about is this tile here. Because I can't draw like this shape here, because I would cut this tile off. Couldn't reach that anymore. So this tile is part of either a region like this or like that. And that's why we can leave this in here already. And we know this has to be a straight 3. Now this has to be a straight 3, this one and this one as well. Okay? What's the next step here? I don't remember. I actually don't know. I don't see it right away at least. I could do this, this, this. No, yeah, I can't extend this here because I would need this, this, and I would be left with this. Let's undo this. This has to be a square. There is another thing that I saw in earlier when I solved this, but I don't know what it is. So this could be 3. No, this one cannot be 3, right? So this one has to be a square as well. Let's finalize those. But that doesn't really help me any further here. Oh yes, it was this thing here that I did before. Like either I have a square in here or a 3, right? So I can do this, which means I need 3 here and there. That's what I found the last time. Which means here I can't have 3, right? Could have 3 like this and 3 like this. No, I can't have 3 like this because again 3, 3, these are cut off. So this has to be a square and this has to be a square too. 3 here, 3 here, and then I made a mistake. I don't remember the solution to this puzzle. But so far I'm correct. No, I'm not. Oh yeah, this can be a square, obviously. How am I making this mistake? Huh. So this has to be a square. Well, anyway, I found out about this one in a very long way. Which means you need 2 3s and 1 square up here, I guess. Or 1... how is that done? Where is the step here that I'm missing? Let's check if anything is correct at least, yeah. So, let me see. Yeah, this can't be a 3 up here. And it also can't be a 3 into this direction, can it? But like, I mean, this... here, these need to be 3s. Oh man, why didn't I see that? No, they don't have to be. Yes, this has to be at least part of it. It's the same thing over and over again. I'm just not seeing it now. Because it's either a 3 or a 4 like this. So that needs to be a 3 here. And this one also needs to be a 3. Okay. So indeed, here we need 2 3s. And this one has to be a 3. This is a square now. And another square there. Sorry for this stumbling, but yeah, sometimes you just don't see these things. There's another 3. Shape bank. We need square shapes, so let's fill in all the shapes we can put in already. Quite a lot. All the corners need to be filled. And we can already see these. Wait. These have to be separate shapes, and these have to be separate shapes. This one has to be a small square because it can't extend downwards, which means this one has to be a big square like this. Here this one has to extend like this now. Here we need a small square, and here we need a big one, and that's that. That is 14 puzzles. That's all difficulty 3 puzzles. There are 2 puzzles with a difficulty of 4. Let me just... oh, sorry, just check one thing. This here is a brown puzzle, right? Can't really see it, but yeah, it looks brown because I don't want to solve that yet. I want to solve the puzzles number 4. But this one is a difficulty 4. So let's do this. We need 3 straight or 4 square. This one here cannot be completed like this because we would cut this one off here, this tile. So this has to be a square because it can't be a 3 into this direction, obviously. So this one here has to be 3 tiles connected like this because it can't move here. Then we need 3 here as well. And here we need either in this corner a square or a 3 like this. So we have this. And since we have 4 tiles here, this can only be completed with 2 squares. So then we need 2 3s here. This one has to be a 3. This one can only be a square. This one is a 3. And we need 2 more 3s then. Okay. And that's another puzzle, difficulty 4. The second law of puzzling: whenever you find a pair of cells that cannot be connected, draw a border between them. So I'm going to do this here, start drawing borders. We obviously need to start this, like we always have to move. We can only move 2 out of niches and then have to turn the corner, sort of. So we can draw these borders here. We can draw these borders here. Here we have to move like this, and we can draw these borders and this border here. But here we don't know, yeah. We have to move out of this one here. This needs a border. Here this could be part of that one. I don't want to draw regions that may have to be connected. But we know that we have to move out of here and we need a border there. Now how can I reach this part here? Actually I can't, like I have to move out of this, so I know that there has to be a border here. Because I have to move out of this, either combine here or go up there. So this must be a border. Yeah, that's also something. So here, we can't move there, obviously, because we're cutting this off. We also can't combine with this. We have to move here, like this. And then this is one region, and this has to be another region. Now here, what else? This tile here. How can we form at least this shape with this tile? Can't be done like this because of the cutoff tile here. It can't be done like this because the tile is still cut off. So it should be done like this, but then here we have 2 tiles. So it can only be done like this. Yeah? That leaves 3 tiles here in a corner shape, and this is the U shape. And then we only need to combine this one here. Okay, we have 16 puzzles. That's all difficulty 4 puzzles. There's 1 difficulty 5 puzzle somewhere. Oh, I think it was also back there. It's here, on a white plinth. All regions must be one of these shapes. 3, 4, 5, always in a zigzag course. So here you can start by drawing in these shapes and the corresponding borders. Let's just do it like this and delete the borders that have to stay, that can't be, that we don't know about yet. Let's put it like this. So this is how we start this puzzle. Now you can look at this here. See, if we were to put a border there, we couldn't complete this section here. We also couldn't complete this. We also couldn't complete this. And we also couldn't complete this. So this has to extend here. Which means we need this here. We need a core, this here. This is potentially open still, yeah. Here we also need at least a corner, like 3 tiles. Can't be done like this because of these 2 sides, these sections here. Also can't be done like this because of the lost tile. Has to be done like this. So we have 3 here. Can't extend any further. This one can potentially extend into this direction, but this one has to move here. So we can draw this border back. Here we need 2 borders. Now here we need to move out there, and we can see that we can't move down here because of the 2 tiles that we are losing. We need to move up and complete this part like this. Here we can potentially move down. Here we can also move down. We have to move down. We have straight tiles, so we can only reach all of them like this. So here this part is looking at these 3 tiles. They have to form, sorry, at least 2 new regions, right? So this one can't move like this because of this tile here. So it has to move like this. And this one can't move like this because it can't extend here. It can only move down and then combine with this one, which leaves us with a corner shape for the corner there. So we have all the white plinths solved, I think. Wait, no. Yes, 17. And there is 1 brown plinth puzzle with a difficulty of 2, and that's back here. So we have this shape here. We can start here. This is an obvious start for this part of the shape. Now we need to extend it to here or there. If we do that here, we are left with something that we can't form to the shape anymore. So let's not do this, let's do this here. Then obviously we need to build this here. Here we can only move out like this along this line and then complete the shape like that, which means we have another shape here like this. Okay, that's the number 2 puzzle. Difficulty 3, there's also 1. Where is that? Is it this one? Yes. Shape bank. All regions must be this shape. Now, I started this and I'm going to do it now again like this to try this one here. Like you see, then this would have to extend like this. It doesn't work because we're losing tiles. So that can't be it. This is basically just trying. Here we can have 2 to one side and 2 to the other, 1 to the other side. So on this side we would have to extend 2 up, left, up, left, up. And here we need to move like this. That's the shape, it fits. And then we can move out of here and see that there's this part of the shape. When we move in here, we only need to add this part here. Here again we have 1 with 4. Perfect fit. On the long side we have this part, and on the other side we have 2, and then we move in here, and I'm just going to complete this like that now. Yeah? This is basically trying out like where it fits, and like I got lucky here with this one. You could also start here, obviously. This would be positions where you can start this easily. So we have 19 puzzles solved. We need 4 difficulty 4 puzzles on brown plinths. There is this one plinth here. Okay, we have this shape here. We start this here like this. Can only be done like this. Then this has to be like this, and that has to be like this. Here we can only do it like this. We can't do it any other way. Like here, this wouldn't work, right? So it has to be done like this. So which means we need to go here like this, and this one is done like this. Now here we can already know that we need a square here, because if there was a square, for instance, here, we wouldn't be able to reach this tile, right? So let's put this in here. Let's also put a square in here, 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 and here. And since this one has to extend down, like it can't go further, right? So that means for this one we also need to extend this region down here, up there. We can't extend this one here with this finger or whatever it is, because we're losing this tile. So indeed we have to do this. And we can draw another square in here, because that makes it easier to see that we cannot do this here. Because then we would have to complete this like that, and we wouldn't be able to form the required shape with this region. Okay? That means this has to be completed like that. And now we can also see that we can't build anything like this here, because again we would lose the ability to form this region down here, and that in turn means that this one has to be done like this actually. Yeah. So here we definitely need sticks like this with an extension here or there. Here we need 4. We can't extend into that area, so it has to be done like this, right? So now it's pretty obvious that I can only reach this tile from down here. We have to extend this. We have to extend this. And this tile can only be reached from the section up there. This tile can only be reached from here. And this tile can only be reached like that, which means we have a 6 here with an extension there, and then these are the final 2 shapes. That's the first difficulty 4 puzzle. Was there another one here? No, that's a 5. What else? Here is one more. Okay. Okay, we have 2 by 3 or 4 in a straight line. Where do we start here? With this tile. This can't be 4 into this direction or in this direction, so it has to be 6 and can only be done like this. Now we can look at this tile here. Can't be 4 here because we're losing this tile. So this has to be 6. Can't be in this direction again because of this tile. It has to be in this direction. Now this has to be a 4 now, and this as well. This can only be a 6. This can also only be a 6. This can be 4 and 4. But anyway, either we have this here or that here, right? So we need these here. Okay. And here I cannot draw a 4, because then I would need to draw a 4 here as well, and I would be left with 4 tiles in a square formation. That's not possible, so this has to be a 6, which can only be done like that. We need a 4 here, and we have another 6 in here, so the remainder is 2 4s. Okay. There's another 4 here. Oh yeah, this one is quite complicated actually. All regions must be one of these L or T shapes, right? So that's an obvious start, but it doesn't help you. It can be done either like this or like this. This one here can't be connected, right? Because we don't have 2 tiles only anywhere. So indeed we need at least 3 tiles up here, and this has to be 5 tiles then. But this one can't be 3 tiles only, because I can't complete the L shape like this. It has to move all the way up, which means this has to be an L shape like this. And here we need to go 3 then. We can't go an L shape like this because we would create this shape. That's not allowed, so we need to move 5 here at least, okay? Okay, here, this tile cannot be reached by this one. Also, this tile cannot be reached. It can be a T or an L. But however, like, this one could be an L from down here, right? But then this one would be an L like that, and we would create this. So that's not allowed. Oops, no, I can leave those two. This one can only be grabbed sort of from up here, and then it has to be this one, I think. But I'm not sure. We saw now that we can't have the L shape like this. The L shape here has to be done like this, right? Because otherwise we would have these 3 tiles lost. So this is true. Here we need to move out 3 at least. It could be a T shape, it could be an L shape, but this tile here we can only reach from here now. Actually, this could have been seen before, I think, right? Yeah, this is some... No, I could have done it with an L from here also. So that's a T. And this one then has to indeed connect to the L shape here. And this one has to be a T shape now, moving all the way up here. Now here we need 3 tiles moving up. Could be an L shape. Could also be a T shape. We don't know yet, but this one has to move up 3. Can be an L shape like this, but here we can't have a T shape. It has to be an L shape like this, which means this one has to extend, and it must be a T shape. Here we also need 3 now at least, so this is indeed an L shape. Here we need 3, could be a T or an L. No, actually it can't be an L because this cannot be completed. We will lose, we don't have 2. This can't be L, it must be T. Which means we have to move out here. We also have to move out here. And this... no, this has to move out 5, at least. It can't be a T shape like this, right? So yeah, indeed, this is connected here. Forms an L. So these 2 cannot connect because that's 6 wide. Maximum allowed 5, so we need 5 here and 5 here. Okay, the final difficulty 4 puzzle. Where is that? There is one more somewhere, right? Ah, it's this one. It's the final puzzle here. Let me just check. 22. Yeah, I need 23. Yeah, so let's solve this already. Note what you know. The key to success in trickier puzzles is marking down partial progress. Merge cells when you know they belong to the same region. Draw borders when you know they exist. Do this immediately, even if you don't know the full shape of a region. Filling in the facts will reveal new ways to make further progress until the puzzle is complete. Well, that's what I always did anyway already. So, yeah. So let's see what we have here. Here we could start with borders. Lots of them. Here's one. Here's one. Here and here. Here. Indeed, that's pretty helpful here. Sorry to draw these borders. Here we need to move up. Here we also need to move up into this red symbol here, there. This shape has to be copied here because of the Gemini sign. Can only be done like this. This one doesn't hold any symbols. This one also has to be copied. We need 4 straight ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one cannot extend, so this one can also not extend. We have 4 here. This one has to move down here, but we don't know if it moves further. Let's go on where? Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like it can't move anywhere else. And it's also complete like this. This one has to move here. Now we need to copy the shape. Can't be done like this, obviously. Has to be done like this. This extends here. Now we know that this is a corner because of this shape here. This we don't know where it goes. Here is a 2 and it can't extend any further, which means there's also a 2. So we have an extension there. Oh, I forgot a border. Huh. This one can only move here. And now, in order to copy this, the only option is to do this. which means this one has to move down here. And that already completes the puzzle. Okay. It also gilds the window. Now we have 23 puzzles. There is one puzzle 5, one difficulty 6 and one difficulty 7 left. The 5 is here, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. All regions must be the shape, so we can start with these niches again. Here this has to be an L already. Can't be a Z shape, right? This has to move here, and that's it so far. So, what I'm doing here that pretty much solves the rest of the puzzle is looking at this tile. I can either form an L shape like this, but I will never be able to not lose a tile in this area of 4 by 4. Yeah, at least one tile I'm losing. So this can't be. Yeah? I could do this, however. No, can't do that because here I can't do this shape. I could do this. That looks good actually. Let's see what else we can do. We can also do this here. But then I need an L there. And I would have to extend this to the bottom. And I can't extend this further to form a proper L, right? So that's also not the possible solution. It's only this. Then we can just proceed here. Fill everything in L shapes. The only way possible. Like this. And like this. And like this. And this is where it stops. Let's go here. Go on here. I can't move this region into this area, right? It has to move into that section now, because I need the L here and an L there. This is here. That's an L here. And here I can't do this because of this shape. Also can't do that because again we have these 4 tiles in a square formation which I can't move out with an L without losing any tiles. So we can only be completing this section like this. Then we need to move like this and like this. Like this. Now come on, like this. Here we can't move down because we would lose this here. This is that. And the final L is here. Okay. So we have puzzle difficulty 6. It's here. All regions must be squares with 2 or 3 side length. So starting clues are all corners again. You can see here already we need one square with a side length of 3 and one with 4 tiles, right? 9 tiles or 4 tiles, whichever way. We don't know which way. We can also fill in these here because we can't have like a big square down here, right? And we can also see that this one extends maximum here and this one extends maximum here, so we need definitely something in there. And this thing cannot extend to that because we would lose these 2 tiles. Couldn't extend this square, and I also couldn't extend this square into this region. So that is not an option. We need a border here. And because of this border, we need at least 2 more tiles connected here, because this can only reach here, and here we can't lose those. So this has to be a square like this. Now again, if I were to extend this, I would lose this here. I couldn't extend this square down here. Oops, sorry, and I also couldn't extend this square up here. So this indeed has to be a square like this. Now I can see with this one tile here, I have to extend this region to a 9 tile square. This one has to be a small one. This one also has to be small, and this also has to be small. Now we need another square here, each corner, right? Also one here. This one cannot be extended, which means this one has to be a big one. And it also means for this corner we need to extend this tile here, this square. Now here we have 3. This one we cannot extend, so we need a big square here and a small square there. This is another square that we need. And what else do we have? Oh, we need another square here. And you can see again, here we can extend there and there maximum. So we need something in there. Can this be a 3? No, because we would lose these tiles again. So this indeed is a 2, and we also need a 2 in here. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that actually shows that I cannot extend this one like this, because I would lose this tile here. This has to be a small square. This one also has to be a small square. I can't have a big square in here, so I need this and that. This one is a small square, and this is also a small square. Here we have 3 that we need to grab, so it has to be a big square. This one also has to be a big square. Here we need a small square. This one has to be a large square. Small square. Small square. Large square. Small square. Small square. And another small square. Like that. So, puzzle number 7. Extreme challenge ahead. Difficulty 7 is the highest in the game. These puzzles are diabolically tough. We recommend saving them until you've completed most of the game. As you gain experience, you learn subtle tricks to help overcome them. Got it. Indeed, this is quite difficult. Only like I solved it with lots of mistakes and like check in progress the first time I solved it. But I found a way to solve this in a proper fashion. So let's start with the starting clues here, like this. All of them have to move out of the niches in order to form these shapes here, right? And let's look at this shape here. This can either be a T shape or an L shape, right? In either way, we need this connection. That means it can extend maximum here, and here a new region has to start, which has to move at least here, because like if this is an L, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's in a T, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I cannot connect this one to this one. Like even like this, it would be 5 tiles and don't apply to this rule here. So we can draw this border here and complete this like that. Now this shape here can either be an L like this or an L like that, which means we have these for sure. And if we look at these empty tiles here now, we have 3 of them. This cannot form a single region. It has to be filled by the remaining tiles of the surrounding regions, which can only be done like this. Now here you can see that it has to move down once, and it could be T's and L's. It doesn't really matter. The main thing is that the maximum extent it can reach is here, which means at the latest here we need to start with a new region, right? And this region could maximum, if this one was here, reach here again, yeah? Which means here we need to start a new region. 1, 2, 3. Can't connect to this one because of the shape it would create. 4. These we know for sure. Okay? And if we look in between these 2 shapes here, these 2 regions, we have exactly 4 tiles in an L shape on top of that. And here we only have 1 tile left, and here we have 2. So we can't complete this region with these 2 regions. We have to make this a separate new region. Which means this is an L, and this one we don't know yet. So here we need an L, here we need an L, here we also need an L because we can't connect to this part here. And here we also need an L like this, which means this one is connected here. And here we can see now we either have an L like this or a T shape like this. So we need these. Here we have 2 empty tiles, and we have 2 tiles available on each of these, so they have to be both T's. Now we have L here, we have a T here, we need an L here. Here this has to be an L like this. That's the T, and another L, and another L. That's the difficult puzzle, and it is really difficult to find this properly. And even after I had solved it like this properly, like the first time, the next time I solved it, like I made again lots of mistakes. So we have 26 puzzles solved. That's all of the puzzles available at this point in time in this section. I hope you enjoyed this video. In the next video, which I hope you will also see, I will solve the precision section puzzles, which are here. And until then, I say bye.